Alright, so welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking movies. Now, I don't know if you guys have been seeing this on Facebook where people are sharing about nominating movie posters for 10 days just to share about like what inspires them and stuff. So I took part in that, and I was tagged by my mate called Yemin. Post a movie a day for 10 days, no explanation, no reviews, just the poster of a movie that greatly influenced my career and love for the film industry. This list isn't necessarily my top 10 movies that I like, that I think are the best, but more of the impact that it had on me as a filmmaker. Because for you guys new to this channel, I'm not all about tutorials and criticizing people's YouTube channels, you know. I used to do short films until I couldn't continue like cheating people to help me for free. There's some truth in that, you know. Initially, I wanted to have a little review about each movie I was posting, but apparently the rule says no explanation, no reviews. I did talk about the first one, and straight away, like there wasn't even a lag time, another friend called Yong, who is a fellow director. No explanation, no reviews, bro. Wow, that was quick. So Yemin suggested after you post 10, you can do a YouTube video talk about them, and Yong encourages this good idea. So yeah, this is a video inspired by both of them, so thank you both of you for the idea, and let's get to it. And let's not forget, right, the last time I wore a movie shirt and a bubblegum hat, we all know what happened. And if that's anything to go by, when this video goes live, I'll be receiving a couple of hate texts and tweets from Damien Chappelle accusing me of triggering his inferiority complex. Okay, so the first movie that I posted was Goal, The Dream Begins, directed by Danny Cannon. This film is about a young Mexican boy who went over to the US and was spotted by a scout, and this scout managed to bring him to England to play for Newcastle United, which happens to be the club that I support. So it's a story about rags to riches, you know, who doesn't like a story about that? There's a reason why it sort of locked on my support as a Newcastle fan, because everything was captured really well. The charm of the city, the way it was filmed, the whole culture of the Geordies. So when I had the privilege to go to Newcastle last year, all that charm, all that vibe that the movie portrayed and captured, I got it as well. And to feel that same thing again in 15 years, I would say that some credit has to be given to the film. For my second film is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now I would say that at this age I've probably outgrown Harry Potter, but I cannot say that the world that J.K. Rowling created, most of us as younger kids or teenagers, we all got lost in that world. And even in 2016, I went to the Wizarding World in LA, Hollywood. Even then, that whole world, that magical feeling, it still hit me, you know. I picked Goblet of Fire as well because out of all the series, this is the one that I enjoyed most, other than the last one. The soundtrack is amazing. It's one of the first original score like CD itself that I bought. It's one of the better ones, not just Harry Potter itself. Like for original score wise, this movie's score is one of the better ones. Next up is a very old movie called Breakfast in Tiffanys. That's how I would describe this to some of my friends when I tell them that this is one of my favorite movies. If this movie was a woman, I would want to marry her. This movie brought the attention of vintage old school Hollywood to me, and that's when I got started going on the whole rabbit hole of that sort of movies. Gene Kelly singing in the rain, Charlie Chaplin, blah blah blah. Of course, this movie has a lot of iconic moments as well, such as the Moon River scene. But more than that, this film makes me want to create things that is very reminiscent to this vibe. So Breakfast at Tiffany's sort of a reminder to me that hey, you still have a film to do that you have to pay homage to. Now my fourth movie that I posted is The Social Network, and it's directed by David Fincher. It's the movie about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, of course greatly dramatized. There are two reasons why this movie inspires me a lot. Firstly, David Fincher is one of my favorite directors working today, but the reason why I picked Social Network ahead of his other more epic films like Seven, it's because me as a director or filmmaker, I prefer something real. I don't see myself doing thriller films or crime films, but more of like a story of somebody. Hence I picked the Facebook movie. Another reason why Social Network inspires me is because of the person who wrote the screenplay, Aaron Sorkin. The way he writes dialogue and screenplays is just on a level where I think as a beginner filmmaker I wanted to be. He's very good at quirky, quippy dialogue to a point where it keeps you at the edge of your seat, and at the same time it doesn't bore you, although there's a lot of conversation and words going on. Aaron Sorkin is someone who tells too well. You don't feel like it's throwing all those words and sentences to you. You have to watch this movie to understand what I'm saying. Movie number 5 is Before Sunrise, and this is one of the iconic movies that I enjoyed a lot, and it inspired one of the short films that I have done before, which I really like in terms of like concept. I think execution wise, I'm not going to link you to it, but I'll show you like a clip here. Before Sunrise is like a dialogue-y film, like Social Network in a way, but it also plays a lot on chemistry. Now, if you have watched it before, you know what I'm talking about. It's basically these two people talking and walking around Austria. You just get lost in the conversation. It's just long takes of them sitting in a bus, talking, walking along the streets, and somehow like my attention never goes away. And of course, both of them have very, very incredible chemistry, and that helps so much because you get invested in their relationship. And yeah, so like I said, this film inspired this short film that I wrote, directed, and acted. I just can't believe how ambitious I was. Of course, at the end of the day, I feel that it's not executed that well, but still today I think it's one of my strongest things that I've written so far. If you want, you can go and find it, but I'm not going to link you to it. Movie 6 is this modern classic. I feel it's going to be a modern classic. It's La La Land. Now, what I think so incredible about La La Land is that at any point of your emotion, be it ambition, career, romance, relationship, at different points of your life, when you watch this, you will have different feelings. I went to the screening of La La Land twice. Both times I came out feeling very differently. First time I felt very inspired, very dreams come true, blah, blah. The second time, the heartbreaking part hit me and I came out bawling. Of course, there are stunning visuals, incredible music, chemistry of Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling is amazing. I was actually at the set of the coffee shop that Emma Stone worked in, obviously not like when they were filming, but the location itself. It was also cool because like when I was watching the movie, I noticed some streets that I actually did walk in before in LA. And I think that there's a lot of components which I would include into my writing if I'm going to do more short films. So for number 7 is The Dark Knight by Christopher Nolan. Everyone should know this film. It is the one with the iconic portrayal of Joker by Heath Ledger, who sadly passed away. Now, when this movie came out in 2008, and especially when this is a superhero movie, you know, usually when you consume superhero movies, it's just for the action and explosion and stuff like that. I'm actually glad that I didn't watch it in 2008. I watched it I think in 2011, where I could understand things better, and that's when I really grasped portrayal of Heath Ledger as the Joker, and that slowly inspired me to write characters much better. Of course, I'm not going to say that I have written a character as well as this before, but it sort of opened my eyes to writing people, writing characters with different layers, different motivations. And as much as I feel some people might not agree to it, character writing plays a huge part in successful film. For number 8, we have The Pursuit of Happyness, a 2006 American film starring Will Smith, directed by Gabriel Muccino. This is one of the first movies that brought me to tears. If you guys have watched it before, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but the scene where he brings his son to the public toilet by pretending they are dinosaurs just so that he can bait him to go and sleep there because they are homeless. It's a mad scene. This is one of the first movies that taught me how emotion really pushes a film. I think Southeast Asian or Asian movies, the sadness that we feel when we watch movies usually is more relatable. But for Western films, I think that the emotion comes a lot from writing, and it comes a lot from the performance as well. It's just how the film builds up to that moment, and then they call it catharsis, right? How the film builds up to that moment and then releases all that emotion to us, the viewers. It's just filmmaking, man. Day 9 is Marriage Story. I think this is the most recent film in my list, starring Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. This movie is very real. It takes you through a story of a couple who just fell out of love. It's not like some dramatic cheating or some big Hollywood thing happened. It's just about two individuals falling out of love and how they deal with the divorce. I believe that you can tell by now from the choices that I make in terms of filmmaking inspiration, I've liked the very real stuff, and this is like epitome of real. I think when I watched this last year, end of last year, 2019, it sort of struck me that I wasn't directing anything the whole of 2019, and it made me start to write stuff to do in 2020, but of course with everything going on now. But I do hope I can get back to directing, of course. So we'll see. And my final film is Begin Again, directed by John Carney, starring Keira Knightley and Mark Ruffalo. This is a very feel-good film. It's about Keira Knightley going to America without knowing many people. She meets Mark Ruffalo, who's a music producer, and she creates a music album out of very, very ghetto techniques. It's a very feel-good movie because it shows that you can accomplish a lot without the regular resources that you might have or you think you might need to create what you want. So I feel like, be it film, music, as long as you want to get there, it doesn't matter how you get there. This film also captures the beauty and the romance of New York City. It's quite amazing. So definitely one of the inspirational movies that I would take out to watch every time I feel down or like I don't have much motivation. This sort of like helps me. It sort of like perks me up, you know. Alright, so there you have it. The 10 movies that inspires me as a filmmaker. What are your thoughts on these movies? Have you watched these movies before? What do you think? What are the other movies that you feel can inspire a filmmaker? Let me know. Put everything in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed what I've been doing so far, click subscribe, get involved in the comments and whatnot. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.
Make a little thunder, lightning, give me a little evil laugh, ready? Alright, now you're gonna go ahead and make a left turn, ready? 3, 2, 1, make that left. Right? Freak out the whoa! Now stop that right car, because he cut you off, man. Go ahead, put your hand in the water. Now, wipe off the sweat. Woo! Look around. Go like